Stocks our strategists feel are poised to deliver positive returns are featured now in their top stock picks of the week.
A building products retailer and a semiconductor stock top this week's list of top picks. Ryan McQueenie, Shiraz Mian here to fill us in on each of those companies individually. Ryan, we're going to start with you. You have tackled the building products retailer, Home Depot.
Yeah, so obviously the number one name in this industry, pretty synonymous with home improvement, kind of do-it-yourself retail. They're going to report earnings next week on Tuesday before the market opens.
So that's the 20th, right, of
yes,
February?
On the 20th, yes.
Okay.
Looking at the price consensus and EPS surprise chart, we can see that the company has an incredible track record of positive surprises going on more than 5 years now. So we know, at least on the earnings side of things, management always delivers. We look at this company also as a bellwether for the economy and the housing market. When consumers have money to spend, they oftentimes put it into improving their houses. They go to Home Depot for those goods. And despite this kind of recent volatility we've seen in the stock market, we know that home building has been strong. And we should feel relatively good about this specific segment of the economy right now, especially here in the U.S. And then on top of that, why Home Depot sticks out, doesn't really rest on its laurels. It has it's constantly trying to shake things up a little bit. Sticks out for things like buying online, deliver from store services. It's also financially sound, rewards investors frequently. We should look for continued buybacks here and a dividend payout ratio somewhere in the range of 55% of earnings. So what does that look like this quarter? Bouncing over to the detailed estimates page, we can see that our consensus estimate is calling for earnings growth of about 12.5%. It's a decent revision snapshot here. This is a ranked number one buy. Looking even further, strong buy, I should say. Looking even further down the line, this is fourth quarter earnings. We're probably seeing even better picture here for the upcoming quarter and for the upcoming fiscal year. Looking for earnings growth in the range of 27%, and that is on strong upward revision agreement. So yeah, I think this is a great time to be looking at Home Depot ahead of earnings.
Yeah, they're on a fiscal calendar apparently, right?
Yeah.
So they recently reported fiscal Q3, I believe.
Yeah, this is the fiscal fourth quarter results coming up next week, and that'll be, I believe, through January 18.
Okay, cool. Shiraz, you are going to talk to us about Micron technology.
That's right, chip maker. But I'm a big fan of Home Depot too. I think for a while, everybody was giving up on the traditional retailers as if Amazon would eat up the entire brick and mortar space. But I think Home Depot is entrenched enough and has a strong enough position that it could continue growing on its own. Micron, it's a chip maker, not the fancy chip maker like NVIDIA. It's the bread and butter commodity chips, what they call as the DRAMs and the NANDs. DRAMs, the dynamic revenue accounts for 2/3 of their revenue, and the rest is NAND. Even prior to the recent sell-off in the market as a whole, in the semis in particular, Micron had suffered a bit more a little earlier. So from November, the stock peaked. It reached about 49.50 in November. It's currently around 41, 42. And part of the reason that triggered the sell-off was this fear that on the NAND side of the business, there's oversupply and prices are coming down. I think those fears are overdone on the memory side. The broader trajectory for the business on the demand side is extremely robust. We saw some of that in the pre-announcement last week. The company came out, strong raise to their guidance, which had already been raised at the time of the last earnings release. They report on March 22nd, by the way. So strong raise to the top line, strong raise to the bottom line. And I think this this trend of very strong demand for the commodity chips that they produce will continue over the last many years as companies continue to shift computing powers into the clouds, and that get powered by the type of chips that Micron produces. The stock has been up about 75% last year over the prior 12 months, but as I mentioned, up to November, it was up more than 100%. So it has come down a bit. In the recent sell-off, it has done better than the semi group and the technology group as a whole. In February, it's down about 4%, while the semis are down more than 8%. I think the weakness we saw in Micron post-November offers you a very good entry point to enter a very quality technology name at extremely good valuation. So estimates have been steadily going up even prior to the pre-announcement. Very strong revisions right now that push the stock to a number one strong buy. And I think we will have that trend in place for a while. So very attractive valuation in a super hot tech industry, which is very hard to come by in these days.
Okay. Thank you both for that. Do either of you own these companies?
I do not.
I own both of these in the focus list portfolio.
Okay, sounds good. Don't forget, you can always get more stock information on these two companies and many others on our website, Zacks.com. All you need to do is get over to the homepage, because that's the starting point to have access to all of that information and data. With Ryan and Shiraz, I'm Terry Ruffalo.